Afternoon, everyone. Just want to make an announcement. If you're a speaker, can you please come to the front, please? My name is Kobe Robinson. I'm the student trustee for the Board of Trustees here at Kane, and I'm here alongside Jason Plates and President Repollet. Um, so today we're gonna have our first in-person town hall meeting for the 2021-2022 academic year. Um, President Repollet and his team implemented this town hall last year, giving students the opportunity to voice their concerns while alongside giving a solution for those concerns so that we could work together as a Kane community to fix these issues or concerns that students may have about our campus. And now I'm gonna give the mic to Jason Plates.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason Plates. As Colby had mentioned, I currently serve as the president for Student Government Association. And really just want to thank everyone for being here today, whether you signed up to speak or to participate in the audience. And again, I want to thank everyone for those who tuned in and participated, not only for the town hall, but as well as the Middle States self-study forums, especially with the students that we hosted last week. Just critical pieces that we have to have, and this is one of them. So just a reminder for our speakers, you will have 2 minutes to speak. I will call you up by name. You can step up to the microphone, 2 minutes to share your concern, and then 1 minute will be catered so you can provide a solution to the president as well as to the administration that is here as well. And I'm sure they would like to introduce themselves, for sure. So we can have, yeah, Itunu.
Can I say something? Yeah. So I have Jason, that's the president, I'm the other president of the university, but today is a great day. I think that anytime we can get together and have our students voice their opinions is a great day. This started last year, and obviously we're COVID. A lot of vendors were remote, and this was a way for us to connect. Through my weekly message, you got a chance to kind of know who I am as a person, and these forums allow you to be able to come together. However, I wanted to make sure that we have some type of structure in place, so I created the President's Advisory Council. Now, the President Advisory Council is made up of individuals, student leaders throughout the campus community. Why is that important? A, they're already leaders, so they have networks of individuals that they can get information to. Two is that they serve as an advisory committee to me. And then I hear them out. We have a team led by Itunu and Kate Gallagher, Itunu Balogun and Kate Gallagher. They work with them on a monthly basis. And sometimes we just talk. Other times we talk about things that we're going to do and implement. And I think during the process, they learned that this is not just a committee of folks just to say, hey, the president wanted to get people together and have photo ops. No, actually, I think this committee serves a valuable place. Last year, we had about three or four ideas that came from this group, and we actually implemented those ideas. One was looking at our online courses. Remember that, guys? Online course, looking at talking about the rigor of that and talking about the amount of hours spent on that. We immediately got with Sue Bousquet at the time, which is our Vice President of Academic Affairs, and really talked about, differentiating between online courses and in-person courses as well. So I want to thank you for that. Plus, we also really bonded, I think, as a group. And as of COVID, I can honestly say you were away, but I hope that this year that we can do things together, community service projects, really some leadership, to really kind of demonstrate your role on campus. I see you as part of my kitchen cabinet, groups of individuals. I know that we held some meetings, we'll talk about that during the course of this town hall, about some of the solutions in regards to safety. And I can honestly say my safety team really appreciated your honesty and your candor. Because I think with anything, in order for us to get better, we must look in the mirror. We are not perfect. We're not a perfect university. However, we strive for excellence. And as you strive for excellence, that means that you're going to have opportunities to get better, to continue to prove the work we're doing, whether it's academics, whether it's innovative programming, whether it's safety. And today is just a day I'm happy. I'm happy the fact that we're here. I wish that more students were actually in this space here, but you know what? I don't care if it's just 2 or 3 individuals. As long as we can have those people come up to this microphone and to talk about some of their concerns and then be able to offer solutions, right? Because I can tell you this, I can go around anything and nitpick and pick out things that I see as wrong or doesn't benefit me as a president. However, when you actually give thought to that and to be able to offer solutions, that means that it's bigger than you. So I'm happy that my advisory committee, PAC, they advocate for the university, for the student body, not just those individuals. I want to thank you guys for really not bringing just individual concerns, but bringing concerns that you've heard from your constituents, the individuals whom you serve within your organizations. So I look forward. So now we know that my team, the last 2 town hall meetings, we had our team that was available. And you know those individuals that our job is to get back to you within 48 hours so we can answer your question and concerns. I have my team here. And at times they may come up and they may jump up to talk about and fill in the gaps with me, right? Because from a policy standpoint, we know one thing, but these individuals are boots on the ground. They're actually implementing some of these things that we're talking about. So hopefully today you get to hear them. If not, someone will reach out to them, and this is my cabinet members. So right now, I yield it back over to you, President Playtez.
Dr. Repaulette. All right, so we'll get started. I'm sorry. Yes, my apologies. We'll get started with the introductions, of course.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matt Caruso. I'm the VP for Student Affairs.
Hello, Andrew Brannon, the Senior Vice President for Finance. You want to jump in here, Joe?
I will on my way to my seat over here. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joseph Youngblood. I'm the Senior Vice President for Transformational Learning and External Affairs.
Good afternoon. Ooh, sorry. I always have problems on the mic. Good afternoon, everybody. Mike Salvatore, the Senior Vice President for Administration.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sancha Gray, Senior Vice President for Entrepreneurial Education Initiatives.
It's like musical chairs. Hi, everyone. Audrey Kelly. I'm the Chief of Staff here at the university and the Executive Director for the Board of Trustees.
Good afternoon. I'm Felice Vasquez. I'm the Senior Vice President for Planning and Special Counsel to the President.
Afternoon, everybody. David Birdsell, Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs.
Good afternoon. My name is Jerome Hatfield. I'm the Associate Director for Public Safety.
Good afternoon. Anthony Monticello, Director of Public Safety. Hello, all.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Itunu Balogun, and I'm a Deputy Chief of Staff in the Office of the President.
Thank you. Can I just have people in the room, if you're a part of the PAC, please stand up and introduce yourselves to the community, because I can tell you this, a lot of folks in the community may not know that you're part of this organization, even my own team. So if you are part of, and also the new folks that we're recruiting, you can stand up and introduce yourself as well. We're going to start over here to the left, move to the right.
Hello, everyone. My name is Riley Easters. I'm a junior here at Cape.
Hello, everybody. I think I can do without this. It's okay. Hello, Hello, everybody. My name is Hannah Abuhayeb. I am a sophomore here, so it's nice to meet everyone.
Hello, everybody. My name is Aeneas Brown. I'm a transfer sophomore here, and nice to meet everybody.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ashley Tafuga. I'm a senior here, and happy to meet everybody.
Hello, everybody. My name is Maria Seidel. I'm a sophomore here, and it's nice to meet you all.
Back there, someone back there. There you go.
That's loud. I can speak up. Oh. Hi, everyone. My name is Delia Latini. I'm a junior here.
We got one more.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marcus. I'm a senior here, and it's good to meet everyone.
Hi, everyone. I am Amani Salim. I am a current senior. I graduate in the fall. I am glad to see you all come out today and show your support, so thank you. Is there anyone else?
So Maria and Marcus, they're brand new. So we were doing community service for the Thanksgiving turkey, and I recruited them on the spot. So they're relatively new. They don't have a shirt, so that means that they'll get a shirt, but they're relatively new. But we want to welcome them. I think that the more opportunities I have to meet individuals on campus, the more opportunities I have to recruit. Because there is no number to the group. It's just people that want to come and do the work. It's all about the work, right, and really advocate. So I'm ready for you. I'm going to stand up here because of the chair and stuff like that. Is that okay with you, Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Mr. President. All right, so we'll just get started. Again, just a reminder for our speakers, the first 2 minutes to state your concern and then 1 minute for the solution. And our first speaker today is Maria Astudillo.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maria. I'm a psychology major and a minor in fine arts. I come here to speak on behalf of the Fine Art Department and the building. This is my first time I've ever been in the art building, and honestly, my concerns are the conditions of it. It is very outdated. Honestly, to be honest, I don't mean to be rude, but it's kind of embarrassing, the conditions of our art building. It's very outdated. Whenever we have sinks that are broken, which we need sinks for our classes, it takes weeks to months to even get a sink fixed. Let's see what else. There's nowhere to eat. Our classes are 6 hours long. We get an hour break in which we have to literally run to get food and come back. So what else is there? Honestly, I think it's not fair. We all pay tuition. We all have a right to be here, but our building, it needs to be updated. And I'm not talking about new floors. I'm talking about new sinks. I'm talking about new pipes. I'm talking about listening to the professors when they need supplies. I'm talking about all of those things, like students, when they have issues, to speak up. Probably students aren't here because our classes, like I said, are 6 hours long. So I guess the solutions to my problems is to walk through the school, look at it. It's not cute. You know, we have all these new buildings on campus, and I don't understand why the current old buildings haven't been updated. Okay, thank you for the new vending machines and thank you for the new fountains. I appreciate it, but there is so much more that needs to be done. So I think the solutions is, looking at our building. Maybe do a survey for the art students. What do they find wrong? Have them speak up as well. A lot of our art students are young freshman kids who can't really afford to go to Parsons or FIT, so they come here because it's affordable. So they deserve to have an education that they pay for and not have a building that is run down. And I understand that maybe you guys don't really care about the art building because we have STEM buildings and business buildings and research buildings, but we still matter. We still pay tuition. So that's all I have to say.
Well, but thank you for your comments and your concerns. The fact that you indicate that we don't care, I think I highly disagree with that. I think I've been here for 18 months, and I can tell you the work that we've done over the 18 months have been renovating our buildings. The fact that I did tour your building, and I also have my senior vice president over planning, and she's going to talk briefly about exactly what we do to prepare, right, the building. So there's a difference between assuming things we're not doing versus, hey, what are you doing to make it better? And I can tell you this, there's a cycle that we rotate in regards to renovations, and I can tell you this, we are aware of our buildings, we understand there's a financial need for that, and we're making a plan through our master plan. But I'm gonna have Felice you can get up and just talk about that. Because I wanna make it clear, because I don't want any student, anyone to go out here thinking that things aren't being addressed. And I'll be the first one to tell you, if we're not addressing it, I will sit and say, I'm sorry, it's not on my radar. But the fact that when you're talking about we don't care about our facilities, and the fact that we do care about our facilities, we do care about our students being in our facilities and making sure they have the best resources available, whether it's supplies, right? Because there's a whole process.
Okay, Maria, is that your name? Okay, thank you for bringing your concerns to our attention, Maria. A few things I can say. We have done several projects over the past 2 or 3 years, right, Audrey? I'm looking at Audrey because her team brought in the grant money and the donor to help support the improvements that we made in Von Ames. There's some others that we've done through the regular budget. I do understand that very recently your dean requested that my facilities team work with them to acquire some equipment that you all were requesting in that building. And that was probably about 2 weeks ago, and it's been ordered. I don't know exactly what that equipment is, but I'm gonna go find out and share with your presidents here and your student trustee that information. And I'm also gonna look into our school dude record for work orders to see if we've had an unreasonable lag time in repairing repair requests. Well, I have to look at that data so that I can follow up on that. So I need to find out why that is and take a look at it and see if there's something that we need to improve or if there was an explanation. I do know that there are some serious supply chain delays right now that can get in the way of timely repairs, but I want to find out for sure why that is. And I'm happy to circle back with you all and let you know.
So what we're going to do is the information that in the past, we normally put the information on our website. So the question and concern will be about the facilities, upgrades, and renovations within your building. So that would be the question, the concern, and then we'll put down some of our responses to that as well, because we want everyone to know that if it's a lag time that's not attached to the supply chain, nothing we can do about it. I apologize that. Everyone is waiting. However, if it's something internally we can work on, then yes, our job is to make sure it gets better. This is why we have these forums. It's not a place where we're going to sit and say, oh, you can't say that. We want you to say it because we're going to do our homework as well, right? And if you have a legitimate concern or complaint, such as the time it takes to get things renovated, such as, and we can give you the facts, so, okay, these are the projects we've done over the last 2 years, which will kind of say, hey, which kind of tell me, okay, this is what we're doing, right? And we continue to work. We also have our provost here. And now we're going to now talk to the dean to make sure that the dean is satisfied with some of the things that are going. So we'll put all that responses into our website so you have that information, okay? As I said before, we don't have that computer database in front of you. However, within 48 hours, as I indicated, the information will be on there, right? I mean, and if it's not, we're wrong. I mean, we're not sitting up here to say we're perfect. I told you that before. However, but I do know that there's normal maintenance that go around that we do.
Right. And we appreciate you bringing to our attention the lag time so that we know that's something to follow up on. Because if it's something that we should have done better and it wasn't something outside of our control, then that's something I want to work on, and I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yes. Thank you. Anything else for that? All right, thank you. So we'll make sure that information get to you. Felice will definitely follow up, and Dr. Birdsell, our provost, will follow up with the dean of the college to make sure that we are doing what is right by our students in that college or that program.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. And next we have Miyoko Bell.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, put the microphone down. No, just put it down. No. There you go. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
First of all, I want to say first, I have severe PTSD. I'm a veteran. And I might cry, or I might get very loud, or sound inappropriate. But no, in my heart, I'm calm as a cucumber, okay? Now, Marie and I both attend school and in the Fine Arts Building. I'm just going to try and read my statement because I might get off balance. And so, so here I go. So, fine arts majors pay the same tuition but not receive equal services. Our building leaks every major rain, every minor rain. Literally leaks. Our pottery class, you're going to have some reports. Pottery lab is right there, and sometimes people get electric shock from that rain, which is not good for anyone. As Maria said, the sinks do not drain properly. When we arrived at campus this year, at least 2 of the sinks that I know of that were key and crucial to one's photography lab, one was for the painting studio, were so blocked up that we had to seek alternative means to get our work done, which included going to labs, rooms on the opposite end of the building to dump out water. So we don't have adequate ventilation. There have been a couple of teachers that have gotten ill. There have been students that have gotten ill. Now, I can't say that that is why they were ill. I don't know. I haven't tested the ventilation myself. But I do know on certain really high rainy days, like when we had that horrible flood, which we had to close the university the next day, the condensation that collected on the ventilation unit that was in that painting lab dripped onto my painting, almost dripped onto my computer, and could have ruined a lot of things. I don't think that that's adequate. I don't think that's appropriate, and I think it's a health issue. You know, we're all in these confined spaces. We're all wearing masks, but, you know, we have to do the most we can do to help with everyone's health. Because we don't want those horrible diseases, the horrible medical issues that seem to be happening to those people who do get the COVID.
1 minute left.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to ask for a little more time because of my PTSD.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Thank you. And so we don't even have adequate supplies for labs. And when I say supplies, I'm referring to durable goods such as easels, both in the art department and the photography department, that work well. Simple things, but they're complex. And then we have the sheer distance to obtain nutrition, which Maria has spoke to. She did say thank you for the water fountain and thank you for the vending machine, but the problem is the vending machine is so expensive. You know, I myself have a pension, so I can afford to eat out of that vending machine. But I've bought food for people. I've bought a mask for somebody because they didn't have the money. Now, they're hungry. They're there for long hours at a time, and they have to go way across campus. And when it's freezing cold, and we got COVID, and we got flu, that makes it even worse. And then the stress of, I only got a certain amount of time to go to and from to get food. It just all adds up. So Fine Arts Department has been ignored for a long time. And I know the previous administration has been accused of trying to run us out, and I believe there's a lot of validity to that, but they certainly have ignored the basic infrastructure of the building. The ventilation, the plumbing, the leaks, and when they did do some work on our building, it was sheerly and purely cosmetic. They promised new easels for the beginning of the semester, and somehow they never got delivered. They said they were delivered, they never came. They tried to imply that somebody maybe had stole them, but there's been no evidence of them ever being delivered. We service an underserved population. These people that come to our university don't have $1 million to spend on supplies, and they certainly feel the dejection that our department receives on a regular basis. I hear it from people all the time. I come from a foundation of you build people up, you raise them up, you make them the best person they can possibly be. But even I have a hard time doing that. I could do it better when I was remote because I didn't see and I didn't feel the oppression. But when you go to these really nice buildings and they have the best equipment available, and then you come to our building and then we're just scraping to get by. Another issue is, you know, we can't buy everything for everyone. But certainly, if our vending machine wasn't so expensive, or maybe if the vending machine, the profits went toward a fund that helped our fine arts students be able to afford better supplies, durable supplies, not durable. I forget the word because I'm getting all riled up.
Miyoko, not to interrupt, I just want, just for time constraints, if we can just have the 1
Okay.
minute for the
All right.
solution, please.
So
Thank you.
So that's it. So we have these students that really come from very poor places and that they really need to be able to experience what other students at other universities experience. And they're struggling to pay for stuff to eat. They're struggling all the way around. And that we really need to find some way to provide better services for them, to give them high quality paint, because they're painting with the worst paint possible. And you cannot get a good paint finished product if you're working with crap. Okay, so resolution-wise. Marie, can you just read this?
I got it. Please repair the infrastructure of our building.
So I'm gonna just, for the sake of time, so some of her concerns are pretty much mirror your concerns. So we're gonna now I'm gonna make a statement real quick because I'm gonna address the issue.
Okay.
The one thing that I don't want any of my students to feel as if they're not being heard. So A, we wanna thank you very much for bringing this to our attention. However, now as a result of that, there will be an investigation.
Thank you, sir.
And it's not just an investigation, just an administration. It's gonna go all the way down. Let me finish this. I didn't interrupt you.
Sorry.
So my thing is this. The provost, stand up for a second, Provost Birdsell. He's our new provost just hired. One thing I will not do is speak about my predecessor and their administration. That's his time, their administration, what they're doing. I'm only gonna talk about what we're doing and how we move forward. And moving forward is this forum here is the exact forum in which you can come in and voice your concerns, right? There's a lot of opinions and things like that, but we're gonna address some of the things because when you do indicate that we don't care, I can honestly say for the last 18 months, I think my administration have demonstrated that we do care. My administrators have demonstrated that students their voices come first. Our relationship with our faculty union, our university senate, has been strengthened. So therefore, there's different levels, right? Because this is the first time I'm hearing this. So I've been in here for the last, I say 3 to 4 months for school started. I have not heard it from a faculty member, have not heard it from an administrator, a dean, and definitely not from our provost. So therefore, sometimes you get frustrated, and that frustration boils up to the point where you're saying, I gotta talk to the president. However, I'll tell you, in order not to get as frustrated as you are right now, there should be levels. Because now when I go back, there's no one to hold accountable. So if you're telling me this for 3 months, that these things were going on, and you're telling me this town hall, that means for 3 months, I haven't had a chance and opportunity to resolve any of your concerns and issues. So my thing is anyone you spoke to. So as we start to move for anyone, students, please listen. You have your faculty member. If that's not working, you have the chair of the executive director of that department. If that's not working, you have your dean. And if that's not working, you go to the provost's office. Right? Because I don't want you to get so frustrated and angry with what's going on here that when you come here, it's months. Right? We want to address these issues immediately. So I want to thank you very much. We have other students that have to give their questions. So you can email us. We'll get back to you offline. You're going to get a conversation. You're going to hear from Felice. She mentioned that before. We're going to get information to you. We're going to get information to Tunu, get her name and her number and her address, and we'll email you. We'll have those conversations, because what I don't want to do is monopolize the time so other folks and other students can't get up here and express, because we only have an hour. We only have an hour.
It's relevant.
We only have an hour, so,
It's relevant.
okay, make your comment. But it has to be brief, though.
It is. I never implied or said that the university didn't care. And if I wasn't here, if I didn't come here, I wouldn't make the effort to come here. It takes a whole lot for me to make a public speech. And on behalf of the students, we appreciate everything and anything you can do for them. But please, just don't forget about us.
Well,
because
we
it
definitely know.
It affects their ability to climb further and go higher past this university.
No,
Thank
and
you,
you're
sir.
right. We talk about Cougars climbing higher, and I think that I'm one of the biggest proponents of that. We
Yes,
want to thank you very
That's why I
much,
wanted to say that.
and we're going to get that information. There's no, just understand this. You're our students, no hard feelings. This is the table. We sit and we have these conversations, right? I may not like what you're saying. However, I respect the fact that you took the time to come up here amongst your peers in this administration to be able to bring that up. Because now it is my job, right, to hold me accountable. I like to be held accountable. So if you're telling me this, we're going to do an assessment of the building. And rest assured, that information will be on the website. It's not going to be in 48 hours, because an assessment is going to take time. However, by the time we start the second semester, we're going to have a resolution, some information you can say, and then we can have those conversations about what we're doing. Because our job is always to listen, but if there's a concern that jeopardizes my students' ability to learn, then that's when I jump in, and that's where my team acts. So I want to thank you very much for that as well. So right now, we're going to move on, because I really want to hear other concerns that are going on, so we can address those issues as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you again, Miyoka. Our next speaker is Javonna Wynn. Okay. Kate Riley. Okay. We do have two students that weren't able to make it today, but Kobe will be reading their statements, and the first one is from Crystal Fideli.
So Crystal Fideli's concern was about vaccinations, COVID vaccinations. So her solution for that was to work to be inclusive of all individuals, no matter their personal choice, to foster and promote working together to come up with a solution that serves everyone from different ideologies, to create a group that represents various ideologies to create inclusive solutions together.
So thank you. Just so you know that Union County has been noted that they are one of the lowest positivity rates in the country, Union County. So we can applaud that. Why is that so important? Not the fact that we're the only county in the state or the only county in the East Coast, but we are #1 in the county when it comes to that, because we take the health of our students very serious. We look at the science of the pandemic health crisis, of coronavirus. We're not going based on ideology. We're not going based on political partisanship. We're going on exactly working with the Department of Health, working with our county health department, and working with the CDC to ensure that the safety of all students. So I'm very happy with what we're doing. And I would say Kane University was in the middle of that, because we had our testing site, we actually had our vaccination site here on campus, as well as our processing site. So I'm very happy with that. Now, to report some of the numbers, I'm very happy to hear that. We have under 110 this semester positivity rates on campus. Now, that includes commuter students, that include Kane Ocean and Kane Union. Now, if you're a student on campus and living in our residence halls, 3 positivity rates on campus. 3. Couple that with last year having one of the lowest in the state out of colleges and universities, that means we're doing a great job. Now, we're doing a great job because all of us are committed to that. So it's not just, we want to do these things to hold you back. No, I'll be the first one to say, I don't want to wear a mask. However, when the governor comes up with a recommendation through executive order, we will follow that recommendation in executive order, because I am not the expert on the transmission of this coronavirus. So I'm going to follow the science recommendations, CDC's recommendation. And as a result of that, in large areas, in the classrooms, and for the safety, even the mental safety of our faculty and our students, and we heard from you, they want us to wear masks. Even though we're vaccinated, boosters, it doesn't matter, because like the same thing you brought up, your concerns and your fear about this, we have to listen to folks that we have to deal with on a daily basis. We want to make sure Maslow talks about food, clothing, and shelter and safety. And the coronavirus in our preparation. I want to thank Felice. You met Felice, our Senior Vice President of Planning and Special Counsel to the President. Her team has done a great job. I want to thank Matt and his team, our Vice President of Academic Affairs, and his team. They do a great job of contact tracing, preparing our facilities, ventilation. So we have this collaborative approach, a comprehensive approach that includes signage, that includes students doing their part, and that includes administration not buckling to the calls of what is probably popular, what's out there, but is what is right for our students. And I will always err on what is right. And if I get students, faculty, and staff upset with me because I chose to mask up, so be it. Right? I'm a big boy. And as a result of that, sometimes you have to be able to hear from your people and take criticism, and that's okay. It comes with the job. But I can say this, though. I am so proud of the work that we've done in regards to our vaccination requirements, in regards to our mask mandates, and trust me, I'm very pleased with the outcomes. Because I said before, Union County, we are doing our part when it comes to that. The number of students on campus, right? The number of students that are vaccinated, number of faculty vaccinated, high numbers. So we're doing the work. So I apologize to those individuals who feel that we should not have masks. However, I don't want to apologize for making sure that my students and my faculty, my staff are safe. So thank you.
So our next student that wasn't able to make it today was Dan Valentine. So his concern was about mandatory masking and vaccination of students is completely unacceptable. Kane administration has ignored students' lack of consent and forced their policies onto students and staff. And his solution for this was respect the rights of students to decide for themselves whether they will wear a mask or receive the COVID vaccination. Remove the absurd, intrusive, and discriminatory mandates now. Sorry. Focus on our efforts helping students in the 2 major areas of concerns affecting us the most: poor mental health and being overweight obese, both of which are resulting in self-harm, suicides, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, etc. For example, we need to remove fast food from campus and replace with healthier options.
Okay, thank you. So for one end, Dan, you're asking us to ignore a mandate. On the other hand, you're asking us to actually do something else in regards to food. I can tell you this. We spoke in length about this last year and this year in regards to our mask options. We don't fall into the trap of this partisanship based on your ideology. It doesn't happen. We're going to follow the science. We're going to work with the county health department, the Department of Health in the state, and then once the governor lifts some of those restrictions, then we will follow. And I can tell you this, following the governor's restrictions and recommendations, following CDC recommendations, Department of Health, we're doing extremely well on campus. I'm gonna knock on some fake wood here, because I don't want to have this big outbreak. However, but I'm just very pleased with that. In regards to food, we're all adults. We're all adults. You know, and our food options, we have options for folks who want to eat healthier, for folks who really want to have a hearty meal. And that's okay. That's your choice. However, what the university is doing to ensure the mental and also the wellness of is that we're actually building a wellness center, working on that to create a wellness center. And we're going to let our Vice President of Student Affairs talk about the work we're doing with mental health, talk about the work we're doing with the wellness days. Last year, you guys enjoyed doing a snow day for a mental health day. This past semester, you did as well. So we're always mindful of the day-to-day drag that this pandemic health crisis has caused our students. We're mindful of the work they're doing, right? 1 or 2 jobs you're working, didn't have to come and do your homework. However, this is an institution of higher education. And you do have choices, right? And we did offer a choice for our students who felt that mask may not be the option for them. And we directed everyone to go to Arcane Online. And then even that, we even created courses to make sure, and Joe, you can correct me on this, created a course to make sure that we meet the needs of those students as well. So we are doing that. We're going to stand our ground. We're going to stand our ground in regards to mask mandates and vaccination. That's not changing. And if this is not the place for you, then I apologize in advance, but we do have a Kane Online program, and we're going to continue this. Now, once that's lifted, I'll be the first one in the state to say, hey, no mask mandates. However, we're starting to see an uptick right now again, right? However, we're going to be home for the next few weeks, so it's going to be great for us. So continue to be mindful. Continue to wash your hands, practice social distancing as much as possible. I know it's hard. I know we got pandemic fatigue. I know I do, right? I always put myself in the mind of the students in regards to how do I feel. I'm tired of the pandemic health crisis. I'm tired of wearing a mask. But this right now is our reality, and hopefully it's not our new normal. So Matt, could you just talk about some of the work that we're doing? You can on the mental, because I want to make sure that you guys have some information regarding the work we're doing with mental health and wellness, right? So,
well, first I want to start out because it was Crystal before Dan's question about creating an inclusive policy for how we're treating COVID and vaccinations and personal choice. We actually did that in the summer and the fall. Normally in a typical year, we'll get about 30 religious exemptions for immunization records. This year we received about 700 to 800. So, you know, we were respectful of people's personal choice and everything else, but as Dr. Reppolette had said, our first and foremost thing is always going to be safety. So the only thing we asked people who sought a medical or religious exemption was to test weekly, and we've been doing that all semester long. And my assistant VP, Scott Snowden, is here. He's the true hero of that because he's spending all of his time out there making sure that the students that got exemptions are testing. In terms of mental health and everything else, it's a key thing. Every decision I've made as a manager in student affairs is to make sure our counseling center staff and our health services center staff is freed up to do the things they do best. I want our counselors seeing people and talking to them about their mental health, talking them through some of the effects of COVID, making sure that they have time to spend face-to-face with our students or virtually in counseling sessions. I'm trying to free up as much as the logistical and administrative work that it takes to test 700 students every week through my staff, through the efforts of Scott, other people in the division, because the last thing I want to do is to make the entire year about COVID. So what we're really trying to do is make sure that our health services and our counseling center services remains intact. And we're trying to do the same things we would do in 2018 and 2017 and making sure we have that. So right now, I'm actually on a search committee. I'm missing one of the interviews for the Counseling Center Associate Director position, and we're hiring another clinician right now. We have a new innovative partnership with Hamilton Behavioral Networks so that we have access to trained professionals in case we need to scale up, in case something happens on campus, similar to what's happened at Rowan. So we're constantly looking at things to improve that, making sure that students have access to the people that they need to see. And a lot of that starts with our approach to how we're doing COVID testing and making sure our staff is freed up to do what they do best. So those are some of the efforts. You'll start to see some of the banners and things going up for the Kane Wellness Center. We're going to have a fully integrated wellness center by the end of the spring semester. Again, we hope to have gotten there a little bit sooner. The Delta variant had different plans for us, so it slowed some of our progress down, but that's the direction we're heading in.
Thank you, Matt.
Sure.
No.
No?
This,
No? No?
we have, no.
If you go, I'll send you the link to the Wellness Center so you can get all that.
So
Good?
make sure when you get it up, share information with all the other
Yeah.
VPs in case they have any questions for it, and we can communicate that way. We want to make sure. Thank you, Vice President.
All right, and our next speaker, we have Bianca Ulrich. Okay. Emily Gross. All right, and we have Tamia Brown. Okay.
All right, so I think that's it, the speakers?
Yeah, we
One more?
were gonna read one of their statements. It has to do with campus safety.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna just kind of flip the script a little bit and have Officers Monticello and
Okay.
Hartsfield come up here. And we're gonna have some conversation back and forth with people here in the audience, right? I think it's important, we wanna hear it. Now, just understand this, it's gonna turn into a conversation about safety, right? Because I know, and that's really what everyone wants to hear about. However, I want you to have a nice conversation to go back and forth so you can hear some of the things that we're doing as well, right? Because I think it's important, because I'm not gonna sit here and not talk about the elephant in the room, right, which is safety on campus. I know the heads up because my PAC advisory committee really sat down with the team here, and I really wanted you to know that they have been advocating for the campus community student body as much as possible, and I want you to kind of hear exactly some of those conversations with that. So I'm sorry, you got the question in?
Yeah.
You guys can come up, you start coming up here.
So from Tamia Brown, obviously her concerns were about lack of security and safety measures on campus. Some of her solutions was placing security in high main traffic buildings such as Center for Academic Success, the library, and the Myron Student Center.
Well, we had a conversation, a great conversation at length with the PAC representing the student body regarding safety. And some of the conversations focused on having resources, means community police and community officers, security officers, in places such as buildings, right? And residence halls, in academic halls, and around the campus and lit. So what I want to kind of do right now is really, Jason, if you can kind of lead the discussion with our two safety officers here that's in charge about some of the questions that may have come up, and have them just talk about it. I think it's important. And then we're going to give some people an opportunity. So we can kind of do a 5 to 10 minute just conversation led by you and Kobe. I say that because you took copious notes the last time we had the meeting, and you truly grilled us. And the PAC committee, I actually felt I was in a hearing, right? But I want to be able to make sure that the community didn't see the conversation. But I want to make sure we had the conversation, it was real, and we touched on some topics. And then if you can, Anthony, Jerome, if you can also just talk about some possible solutions that came out of that. So Jason, if you can just kind of chime in real quick, and then we can just kind of change that format. And then at the end, if time permitted, we'll have some individuals just come up and ask any random questions. I think my team is all here. I want to make this town hall very fruitful, right? As much as we can control the time as possible, because my time is busy, I can honestly say that. But if you're here in this audience, at least give you a chance to be able to ask some questions, and you got to see how this process is going to go. And hopefully in the spring, it'll become bigger.
So as President Repolet had mentioned, 2 weeks ago we had met with campus police and the administrators, and just to talk about the concerns about safety on campus. And one of the concerns were visibility for KUPD around areas not only outside but in academic buildings, in other areas, East Campus, Hines Hall, where buildings may be a bit farther than the here on main campus. We came up with solutions, some initiatives that we could start, even beginning with student organization and student government. What we can do, how can we have students being able to distinguish a safety concern, because a lot of times we can see stuff going on around us, but we may not be able to acknowledge it, what it is. So we're working on that as well, but of course I want to give time to our directors of campus police in regards to what they're doing, what we discussed, and of course the solutions including visibility, which was a main concern for many students.
And once they give an answer, you can jump and ask that question, okay? You fine? Thank you, guys.
You have a question? I'm sorry.
No, we can ask it later. I want you to kind of, you may answer some of the questions.
Most of the concerns were lighting, and they felt unsafe. Myself and Mr. Romamoti went over the lighting, and obviously we're doing a lighting upgrade. We had to make sure the wires could handle the extreme lighting that we're going to put. So you may see a difference in a couple of months where the heads are going to be changed and we're going to have new lighting put on. Another one was more visibility on campus. And we talked about the community engagement with the police officers and having them do what we call a park, walk, and talk. They're going to park their vehicles. You may see them in different locations. They'll be walking the campus. They're designated different zones that they work every day, just kind of like when they come to work. Let's just say that might be East Campus. East Campus is their job every day. And the reason why I have them in specific zones is so that they get to know, I call them the neighbors. You guys are neighbors. And they know their neighbors on who's coming to campus at what time. And maybe they may see a student walking home late at night and know you by name. That's my ultimate goal, is to know your students by name. I'm a Cougar myself. I want to make sure you know me. So went here many moons ago, and it's nice to know people by face. And I know we had a side conversation after the meeting about having student workers working for us, putting them in different buildings, because I know you're going out to work, whether it be at a Walgreens or a Starbucks or a Panera Bread. I want you to work here for me and work for the campus and be productive in our own little campus here. So if we can have you in designated buildings and working for us on certain hours, that's great. We could even have student ambassadors walking students when they feel unsafe. Not to say that they can't call campus police, but it's an alternative. So these are different things that we're hoping to have in place by after winter recess. Also, we're looking at 3 different apps right now for emergency apps for students. So within the next week or 2, we'll be promoting them, and hopefully we'll get some good product out of it.
So hopefully we can actually have the PAC kind of pilot some of that once you make a decision. Or matter of fact, why don't we have them pilot all 3, right, to test it, give them during that process, and we do that. So some of the things that come up was also the campus phone calls as far as walking and accompanying someone. So can you,
Yep.
Stacey, yes, can you talk about that briefly?
Yes. So at the police department, it's a regular working police department. Some of us that haven't come visited the police department, you're more than welcome to come. We don't bite. We're here to help you at all given times. We're here 24/7. So at any given time, if you feel unsafe, by all means, call us. And if you do have an emergency, last resort, always call 911. So you can ask for an escort. So if you're walking, let's just say, from Hines Hall and you're coming back onto main campus, and you need an escort, we're here. We're here 24/7. We have police officers and security guards at any given time. So I think sometimes, we even talk about crime, and I talk about this in my whole career. It's always that nosy neighbor, I call it. And you're going to laugh when you say that, because it's the nosy neighbor. It's someone, I'm calling you the nosy neighbor, that sees something and you're afraid to report it. We need people to report things that kind of like that little stomach feeling that you say, something's not right. Call us. We're here 24/7. The police officers, the men and women, want to do the job, and they're here to help you. I've always heard my whole career, well, we don't want to bother the police. That's what we're here for, to bother us. So please do bother us. We want you to ring the phones.
So Jerome, could you just chime in on some
Hopefully I
things
didn't take
based
your
on,
thunder.
based off some of the conversation that we actually had, I thought it was very fruitful, so you could talk about this. I know we talked about the escort, we're talking about community policing, but can we talk about other aspects of that meeting that you can recollect?
There's an old adage that's been shared for 100 years, and it says that you can't police a community that you're not a part of. And so our primary focus is to make sure that we're integrated in the community, we understand the needs of the community so we can actually support the community interests. Many people call us the campus police, but we're a Department of Public Safety, so there's so many other things that we do to enrich the presence of students, faculty, and staff, as well as visitors here at the university. And so our desire is to become a part of the daily walks of life for people that represent the Kane community. And there's many ways that we can actually be a part of that. And so the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion is actually hosting an event December the 6th. I believe it might be at this facility. And it's going to be a discussion with students and the police. And we're really looking forward to being able to sit down with the Kane community to understand what your expectations are in having us not police the campus, but provide safety and security for the campus. And at the same time, redirect some of the things that we're doing by way of priorities and objectives. And so inevitably, we're looking for much greater interactions than what we've seen up to this point. And it really starts with substantive partnerships and relationships, which will advance what we're trying to do. And so our overall goal is just to make sure that there is a security posture on campus that everybody's comfortable with, and we can contribute to your health and welfare in the best way possible.
Thank you. So I'm also just going to briefly touch on this, and Ashley, we're going to let you ask that question, statement, or you can summarize what the.
Yeah, it was, so the business side. It was more of a awareness thing, because I didn't know you all were going to be here. I was going to come find you. But as a business student, I'm in and out of Hines a lot since it's been built. And I noticed it's one of the buildings where the side doors don't have awnings. So when it rains, it gets really messy and really slippery. The doors get stuck open. When it snows, I'm thinking of when the weather gets bad, it's going to be an issue trying to get the doors open and closed, because there's nothing protecting those sidewalks as far as students getting in and out of it. And I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Thank you.
Excellent, thank you.
I'm gonna briefly, and let's talk about a touchy situation a little bit, right? I'm not gonna be specific about it because in the day though, we're still doing internal investigations and things of that nature. However, I wanna make it very clear that we take sexual harassments, sexual assaults very serious, right? Regardless of what you may hear on social media, that's social media. We don't comment on social media for the purpose of the process. But I want to just make it very clear that we take it very serious. And when I get a phone call from the other president, and he's talking about the campus community, he want to make a statement on student government. I was so proud in that moment to be the president of Kane University, to actually have my student government president, want to make a statement about sexual harassment on campus, sexual assaults on campus. Now, even though I know that he didn't know what was going on behind the scenes and information we gathered, but I was proud the fact that he wanted to make a statement. I'm the father of 2 teenage girls. One is a sophomore in college, and she attends a school in Baltimore. One's a junior in high school. Every day, I wonder, is my daughter going to be safe? So I did what your parents have done and what you talk about, thinking about ways in which my daughter, Lauren, can stay safe. Now, as a father, and I give the same thing as a president of a university, we all must do our part. The university must do our part, and I promise you, we will continue to listen to you and do better. Because we don't want you walking around this campus in dark-filled spots. We don't want you to feel that when you're walking from one end of the campus that you're walking alone. Reach out. Hold us accountable. If the police officer not there, security not there, then you, the next day, you reach out to someone from my staff, or you come to my office in Kane Hall and you say, yesterday I felt unsafe. Right? So, and I know it's sometimes when you're in that situation, you feel that there's no one there, please know that we're here for you. Whether you call 911, whether you reach out to a crisis counselor, counselor on affirmative action, whatever it is, please say something, report it. We are an open campus. And the one thing I'm not going to do is close this campus, because I think the beauty of a diversity is the fact that we open campus, we serve a lot of folks, whether it's walking through. But we must be smart on our part. And I assure you that we're going to be smart. Now, is my assurance something that says it's never going to happen on campus? I'm not naive to know that, because people are human and people have concerns and issues. but I need to make sure that you feel safe. So we're gonna increase lighting on campus. We're gonna get a reader that will read license plates as you enter this campus, and that's costly. However, the money's gonna be well spent. I'm gonna ensure that the police department do a great job of community policing, that they're visible. I even talked about getting the little segways for the police officers to actually, because I enjoy my golf cart. Segways for the police officer, and we got Andrew, he's not here, he just left, so you know I was gonna talk about money. To get them because I want them involved. I even talked about having a 3-on-3 basketball tournament so you can get familiar with the police department, so you can be able to approach them on these issues. So just know this, King University, from a professional standpoint, we take it serious. From a personal standpoint, trust me, I hear you and I understand. And we'll continue working with my student leaders that's part of my advisory committee because I need to know what's going on the ground. If we don't know, we can't help you. Right? We're not going to get upset the fact that we're not perfect. I keep telling you that. But we're not going to get upset because you're holding us accountable or holding our feet to the fire in your safety or in your facility because that's part of Maslow hierarchy. Know that. This is why these town hall meetings are very important. It's important because you get to hear me, right? The leader of this university talk to you one-on-one, and I get to hear you because on a day-to-day basis, we're extremely busy. But we're never too busy twice a year to have a forum in which we can hear you. And I hope that as we move forward, there'll be more people in the room and more concerns, right? Because the better we are, the better communication, the better this university will be. But more importantly, I want you to feel safe. So just know that your safety is my #1 priority. So the university has to do better, right? We have to make sure that we're doing our part. Now, as a father, I'm talking to you as a father, right? A president had to be a father of 2 young ladies. I tell my daughter all the time, honey, make sure that you're walking, find someone to walk with. If not, call someone, right? Making sure that when you are waiting, you wait to an area that's lit. Be mindful of your surroundings because my daughter goes to school in Baltimore. So you can imagine every day when I get a phone in the night, tell me, hey, Daddy, I'm in my room, right? And you just heard what happened to the student at Penn State. Things are happening across this country and on these campus universities that are sometimes out of our control. My job is never to be reactionary. I don't want to react to a situation. I want to be proactive. And these town hall meetings are proactive forums. So we're going to continue to listen to you, continue to press the issue on safety, and I hope that you continue to hold us accountable. Because then we can finally say this is a world-class education, right? Because the key world-class education has a lot to do with just basic needs for individuals. So I'm going to now open it up for some folks in the back there that maybe have some questions or comments, whatever you have, just maybe 2 or 3 if you want. If not, don't worry. But I didn't want you to come here and not feel that you can't participate in this because you didn't submit a question.
I'm sorry, sir, it's a relevant statement.
Okay. Thanks, Marv. Got you.
So, again, this is a very relevant statement because most females, and this happens to men as well, become sexually assaulted. And they are so afraid to speak up and report. In the rumor mill, when something recently happened on campus, the rumor was that person had to come back because they were told their issue was not important enough at that time to be reported. It does sound very bogus to me, but I just want you guys to make a statement so that everyone feels comfortable. Because this kind of oppressive, controlling, malicious, vicious behavior, because that's what sexual assault is, needs to be reported. It needs to be stopped.
So, no, we feel
If
that
it
way.
happens.
We feel that way, and that's why I'm up here right now talking about that, right? However, we're not going to make a statement off of rumors, conjectures. My police department, I can say this, have been investigating and will invest and continue to investigate and do what is right.
But that's what I'm saying, that they should say that
So Okay,
everything
okay.
will be addressed.
Thank you very much. I mean, really, we're trying to have this one-way streak back and forth, but we've allowed you to speak, we give you the mic, but just when I'm speaking, let me just give me the same courtesy I afforded you when you were speaking, I didn't cut you off, okay? Thank you. So, as I stated before, we hear your concerns. Through our social media, we'll put things out when it's factual on our end after an investigation. Because at the end of the day, we need to make sure what we state is about the facts and not fake news. Because at the end of the day, we want you to trust the information that we're giving you. And we can't be so reactionary with every little rumor, everything that goes on. We can't do that. But it goes back to the trust thing. But I hope that these last 16 to 18 months, that you see that you trust the fact that when I'm speaking to you and I'm telling you something, is because A, it's real, it's gonna benefit you, and it's gonna make you feel safe. And when that time comes that you feel that I'm not making you safe, then you need to come to these forums and let me know. We're gonna continue to work hard to make sure we earn your trust. And this is just an example of us earning your trust. And hopefully when the spring, we come back and we can say we've seen some improvements, right? And that's why we do it every semester, so we can see improvements, right? And if not, you can say, Repellette, you told me to trust you. I don't see improvements. So you're gonna see improvement in lighting. We're gonna have the card reader to read the license plates. We're gonna have signs that came up at the committee meeting, signs up around campus about what you should do to protect yourself, right? So we're gonna do this campaign because we wanna make sure that our women and men on this campus feel safe to walk our campus. So I wanna thank you very much for the opportunity to really address you from this forum here. I wanna thank my President's Advisory Council for really giving us the real and making sure that we are doing the things we were supposed to be doing. So thank you. I want to thank the host, our President of Student Government, Jason Playtaz, and our student trustee, Kobe Robinson. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Hot mess. Good seeing you.